Go ahead.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening. Today I'm going to explain the steps to a very passionate hobby that I partake in. The world of flight had very humble beginnings. Fun and colorful Chinese kites were used in religious ceremonies, and years later,
Man attempted to fly by attaching feathers to his arms, thinking that he's going to fly as a result. The failure of this flapping method led to the eventual invention of a powered aircraft, which was designed and built by the Wright brothers.
Need for interest in flying came as a result of attending the air show. According to the International Council of Air shows represent one of the largest spectator sports of North America. A number of air show spectators like myself became pilots as a result of attending the air show. Today I will explain the process
Of becoming a private pilot based on the United States Department of Transportation's Federal Aviation Regulations Part 61. You can obtain a copy of this book from a local flight school. Persons seeking pilot licensure must meet a number of requirements, which are outlined in the Department of Transportation Federal Aviation Regulations. To be eligible for a private pilot certificate, a person must be at least 17 years of age, be able to read, speak, write, and understand the English language, pass a medical exam with a specialized aviation physician known as an aviation medical examiner, receive a pilot endorsement from a flight instructor who conducted the flight training and certifies the student receive a passing score of at least a 70% on the aviation knowledge exam. The student received flight training in areas of operation, which include takeoffs, landings, emergency operations, night flying, ground reference maneuvers, performance maneuvers, and airport operations. The flight instructor has to certify that the student pilot is prepared to take a flight knowledge test with a Federal Aviation Administration designated pilot examiner in the areas of responsibility that we just previously discussed. A minimum of 40 flight training hours in the areas of operation must be documented in the student pilot's logbook with the instructor's signature certifying that he received those hours. According to the Aircraft Owners and Pilots Association, the average flight training hours to receive a private pilot's license is 60 to 70 hours. Once you complete the eligibility requirements, you are then ready to take the test with a designated pilot examiner. Your flight instructor will call the examiner to schedule the date and time of the test. The day before the exam, the flight instructor will basically review any items that you may not feel comfortable with and any knowledge material that you need to go over a little bit more. If you pass the test, the examiner will give you a temporary pilot license, which you can then use immediately. So you can take some friends up. If you want to fly from Smithfield to New York City, you can, or anywhere you choose. Take your spouse for a hamburger ride over to the coast, all those good things. Your permanent license will then come some weeks later from the FAA or the Federal Aviation Administration headquarters, which is in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. If you fail the exam, you and your instructor will get together and you will basically go over the items that you had problems with. And so you would basically get some remedial training to brush up on those things that the examiner says that you need to work on. Now that you received your pilot's license, you can do the following things. You can fly passengers, which that means that you can fly friends to different destinations, but you can't charge them. You can't charge a person to say to go from Smithfield to New York as though you're an airline pilot. You can't do that. You have to receive additional training to be able to charge a fee. Now you can share the cost of the flight with that person. So you may share, you may basically cut the cost or split in half the cost of the fuel, the aircraft rental, and any other incidental costs that come as a result of making this trip. You can obtain more training and become a professional pilot. Professional pilot meaning an airline pilot, a corporate business jet pilot flying Sean P. Diddy Combs or Jay-Z around, or you can become a flight instructor, teaching people how to fly for a fee. Okay? You can join a flying club with other like-minded pilots like yourself, and you can make a lot of new friendships as a result. Now that you have an idea as to the requirements for obtaining a licensing, the next step is to call up several flight schools and interview several flight instructors. You want to make sure you choose one that matches your personality. Someone that you know that when you're up there flying in a tight compartment like an airplane that you're flying in, you want to have a good match with. Okay? Also, you need to schedule an introductory flight. Go for an introductory ride and see if you really enjoy flying. Some people get up in the air and next thing you know, they start feeling sick or it's just not for them, which is okay. It's good to do that at a minimum cost than spending many thousands of dollars on a flight training. So today I showed you the process of pilot certification. I discussed the humble beginnings of flight, air shows that stimulated people's interest in flying. I had focused on the Department of Transportation requirements for pilot certification and the results of passing or failing an examination. Scheduling an introductory ride is a great way to see if flying is for you. And of course, there are a number of great things you can do once you obtain your pilot's license. You can do charitable flights, people that are very sick, who can't be transported via ambulance. There are charitable organizations that will transport these people in privately owned aircraft to the hospital so that they can get the needed care that they need. So next time you're attending an air show or you see an aircraft flying above, visualize yourself flying and call your local flight school to schedule an introductory flight. Thank you for your time and have a good night.